Hello traders, and welcome to my video on multi-timeframe analysis. So today's video is going to be talking about multi-timeframe analysis on the daily, the 4-hour, and the 15-minute chart. The reason I'm doing this video is because I've had many requests on multi-timeframe analysis and how to analyze an asset on longer time frames and also shorter time frames, and how to blend those together to find good spots to buy and sell at. So I hope that by the end of this video, you have a better understanding of analyzing Bitcoin or Ethereum or other assets on a long-term basis and also on a short-term basis. So without further ado, let's first go into the daily. Let's label some support and resistance points to look for future spots to buy and sell at. So the first thing we want to do is identify if the market is trending upward, sideways, or downward. And we can see that the market is very clearly moving upward. So looking for a spot to buy would not be a bad idea. What we want to do is draw a Fibonacci retracement from the most recent swing low, here, it's labeled for us, to the most recent swing high, again, labeled for us here. And what we want to find is spots of future support that could hold. And we see that 38.2 looks like a very possible minor or major support point. We had previous resistance here, and as I've talked about in previous videos, previous resistance usually becomes future support. If price was to come down here, price would very likely move upward, whether that's all the way upward to a new high or a minor upswing just to here and then move lower. This seems like a very safe and very profitable place to buy at. So what I'm going to do, instead of holding this Fibonacci retracement up for other time frames and clogging them up, I'm just simply going to write a price alert on Cryptowatch. With a price alert, what you need to do is click on the y-axis and then click on that number again and then type in the number you would like to have. I'm going to have my 3453 right here because I don't love having cents on price alerts here because I find it's much easier to remember straight dollars instead of incorporating the cents in there too. And if we look at another support point, we see that the 2822 is a very good point of support as well, because the 61.8 retracement is very much usually the support point, the major support point where price bounces off a lot higher. And we also see that there's many levels of previous resistance here, as you can see here, here, here-ish, and here. So this has a good point of confluence. So we're going to rate the 2822 into here. 2822. We have two support points lined up right here. So the third thing I'm going to do is just draw a price alert on the 4474 here. And that's because that was the most recent swing high. And if price was to come up to the swing high, it would very likely either retrace immediately or it would go sideways. And this is because previous resistance is not the easiest to just pierce immediately. Usually there has to be a bit of a correction. And this could also just bounce off and go down further. So now that we have our daily price alerts set up, we're going to go on to the 4-hour and look for some more spots to buy and sell at. So in the 4-hour, we're going to be doing something very similar. We're going to be just drawing more Fibonacci retracements, as you can see here. And it doesn't really look like any of these points are that good, except, of course, the 61.8 retracement at the 3900. This seems like a very good spot to buy at if price was to fall to it. The price would very likely rebound off this point to be much higher, possibly to here, because this previous support could form future resistance if price was to go down here and then bounce off the 4080 here. This seems like it'd be an okay trade to take. So we can see here on the 4-hour that we are moderately bullish. I say moderately bullish because we had a evening star formation here, and we had a tweezer top here too, and strong bullish volume at the end of this trend here, and some weaker bullish volume here, as you can see. These two were quite weak, and these two are not the strongest either. So we can confirm here, is price going upward, downward, or sideways? I would say price is going upward, but we might see a quick correction to the 3900. So now that we have these levels set up, we want to look at the 15-minute. And what we're going to do on the 15-minute is, again, label some points that could become future resistance or support. So we can see here that this was a point of resistance, the 42.50 just about. So all I'm going to do here is just create another price alert at the 42.50 because this is very likely to become future support as well. And then going off this, we can also see if we draw the Fibonacci retracement from this swing low to this swing high, that it's around the 38.2 retracement. Now, the last thing we want to do is turn on MFI, which is over here, the money flow index. And what we want to do here is take a trade at one of these levels that I'm talking about, only if MFI is oversold. So if you can see here, when MFI was oversold, it would have been a very good price to buy at. So you would have caught this. And here too, if MFI was oversold, you would have caught this. And all this too, if you had held it. So that is the way to trade with MFI and many other points as well. You can trade more longer term with MFI by just going on a higher time frame. But I don't really prefer using MFI on any time frame above the hourly. That's just my preference. I think it works best on hourly in the 15-minute, but your discretion is advised. So that's going to be it for today's video. We've gone over the 15-minute, the 4-hour, and the daily, labeling points for resistance and support, and also using MFI to gauge whether to buy or sell into a market. Remember, if MFI is oversold and you find that price is at a support point that you've labeled on a higher time frame, you want to buy. If MFI is overbought, as you can see here, and also tops here and here, that it calculated quite well, then you very likely want to sell. And if you label previous resistance points, for example, if you had labeled this and bought here and then labeled this as a resistance point and you see this happen, you very likely want to sell here with overbought readings and this being previous resistance. So that's going to be it. Like I've said, just use price alerts for resistance and support. Use MFI as a confirmation, and that is how I do my multi-time frame analysis to get many points that I can trust to be support and resistance. If you have any questions on this video, feel free to ask them in the comments. Thanks for watching.